Is Mrs. Sanders a yeah? And today we're going to be talking about how to find confidence as a content creator.
Hey, I'm a hockey player, but I'm playing golf today.
Alright, the first thing I want to start with is the definition of confidence that I came up with. Kind of. I'm sure a definition like this is already out here. But a definition of confidence: ability plus awareness. And if I broke that down, it'd be like this. If I dropped your ass off in the middle of a forest and you knew every single plant, every little insect, every animal, you knew where all the animals are at and how to defend yourself against them and how to survive in that forest, you would have a pretty good amount of confidence. But if you didn't have the ability to execute, like if I cut off your legs and your arms, then your confidence would drop drastically. Now, if I dropped you in that same forest and you had like superhero powers, but you didn't know nothing about the forest, you would still kind of have a little bit of confidence that you could survive, but you would be hesitant because you didn't know anything. So I think if you have the ability to execute and you have the awareness, both of those compounding on each other creates more confidence. So as a content creator, that's what you're always doing. You're always doing research to increase your awareness of how to do things better. And as you do things more, you increase your ability to get those things done. But we're not just going to stop there, because I think there's a lot of nuances to confidence that can make just a clear-cut answer a little bit difficult. And so the first thing we're going to get into about building confidence as a content creator is trusting that you already have enough inside of you, what it takes to be a successful content creator. So I think especially for me, sometimes I get on the internet and I see people's personalities and I see people's like way of doing things, and I don't have that exuberant of a personality, or I'm not that clever, I'm not that funny. And so you kind of tell yourself that since you don't have that, you don't have what it takes. But I think every single person has enough to be successful as a content creator. Like, no matter who you are or how you are, I think somebody will connect eventually. Of course, it's going to take fine-tuning your personality, like not exactly fine-tuning it, but bringing the most out of it. It's not like you have to go and get something outside of you that you don't already have. And I think that trusting yourself is trusting that you have enough is a key thing. And I think it's just absolute fact. I think everybody has in them what it takes to connect to other people. That's all you're doing, is connecting to other people. And also, a lot of the times when you're looking at a successful creator, some people start out the gate and they just got it. They're stars. But some people, they've been building their personality through a long, arduous process. And then that's how they blossom into who they are today. And you're trying to compare yourself to the finished product when you didn't see the days when they uploaded and privated and then deleted and uploaded and deleted, or destroyed that channel, or all that type of stuff. And then number two, it's going to seem very cliche, but I think, all right, I'll just say it. Keep everything fun. I was watching King Richard the other day, that movie about Serena Williams and Venus Williams, and how their dad pushed them to play tennis. But he would always, like in the movie, he was saying,
this junior circuit is worse than the ghetto. Kids out there cracking up, burning out, their parents ought to be shot.
What are you talking about?
Because they're just so hard on their kids, like expecting a certain outcome, that he could just see the pressure it was putting on the other kids. And he was like, all these kids are getting burned out and falling away from the sport because of this pressure. And he would make sure to take breaks, to not sign his kids up to every tennis tournament, to take his kids to Disneyland and have fun. And I think when you take things over serious, when you're too serious about what you're doing, it may start to wear at your confidence.
Scramble reinforcements. Repeat. Scramble all reinforcements.
I think the last thing that will help with confidence is drilling / film study / drilling. I think this is underrated. Like, if you're trying to learn YouTube, right? Take out a pen and paper and watch YouTube videos and see what works. Like, note it down, like write it down, what works, what doesn't work for you. I think there's something about having a pen and paper in hand when you start to watch stuff. It changes your whole mentality of watching what you're watching. You're in study mode versus enjoyment mode. And I think film study, breaking down what works and what doesn't work, and then building maybe even drills or exercises around that to help you build that ability. I've been bringing up Mr. Beast a lot. I don't even watch this dude like that, but I remember an interview where he was saying he would just have set an hour aside where he just came up with video ideas. That's like a drill. That's like video idea drill. And then if you do that so many times, you know in the back of your mind that after a while you can come up with ideas. So then that's your ability just raising. So that's more confidence. I remember, I think it was J. Cole.
Jermaine. Yeah. Cole. Yes.
He said getting ready for what album was that called? I forgot. But he went back and started making up drills and redoing drills to really build his pen skills.
Pushing himself to see like, all right, can I get better? You know what I mean? Like he was really doing these drills he was talking about. Like he does these.
The thing he was talking about LA Leakers, right?
Yeah,
Those
like,
7-minute.
Yeah, he
joints.
does these 7-minute drills that he had like Cosby doing and you know, T minus. Well, he'll just be like, yo, you got 7 minutes. Like, it's basically his way of like breaking out of overthinking. Like, don't even think about it. Start a verse. What we gonna talk about? He'll be like, yo, Cos, write a verse about pizza. I don't know. Like, and then they got 7 minutes and then they put the timer on and then it's like, all right, what you got? And he'll do that with T minus. Like, all right, you get to pick your 2-3 sounds before you start. Then you got 7 minutes. And it's just to like a drill.
There's a very basketball way of thinking to that, right? It's like get your 20 shots in.
Exactly.
You know,
and then he was doing drills where he was like, he got a bunch of freestyles that like over like a Busta beat, Eminem beat that he was just doing like an ODB beat that he was doing to like just sharpen up his pen.
That was building his confidence. When you start doing the drills over and over and over again, and then you know you're putting the time in, that's confidence. And I always kind of envied the athletes, not envy, but I was like, damn, I wish I could do that. Where you say, like James Harden that one year, he said, I'm gonna be the best shooting guard the next year. And everybody kind of thought like, because nobody really knew him like that. So they're like, what are you talking about? You're gonna be the best shooting guard next year? And then that next year or the next 2 years, he ended up being the best shooting guard in the league. And I only think that came from whatever he was doing in the summer or in the off season, the drills, he knew he was just doing more than his opponents. And he knew it was gonna pay off.